I was temporary a project director for Bethesda's game development department for a short period of time during the launch of their fourth installment of the Elder Scrolls saga, Oblivion. From early 2004 until its release of spring 2006, my team and I were responsible for quest storyboarding and design, mapping out in detail each quest objective, any necessary story component, and of course, the reward. One quest in particular has me regret I've ever been a part of the team. Even the executive producer, Mr. Todd Howard, admits that this wasn't something he could ever imagine happening to a game like this. The quest, rather, this achievement awarded quest, hindering much unsettling, was actually a very real, very important part of the game. Entitled Infiltration, it was the second last most unusual quests for the Fighters Guild, and the quest result was, well, we didn't originally plan to produce, in fact. Sorry, I'm stumbling a bit, sort of shaken. The result we didn't originally plan to produce, in fact, we didn't expect to produce. In case you never played the game, the Factions quest followed a league of fighters who were hired to perform jobs involving a great deal of fighting, as the name suggests. After you've proven yourself for the guild, you'll learn about a group called the Blackwood Company, who are stealing members of the guild and performing jobs created almost out of thin air. Here's where things start to get bizarre. For the quest, we were told to pose undercover as an interested recruit for the Blackwood Company to earn their secrets. We as a team had already agreed that this is how we wanted the quest to begin. But it's been a recurring nightmare for us all from what follows. Once you become a member, you were tasked with your first assignment of eliminating a few goblins from a town just north of the city of Lyme. We sat in the boardroom for an hour, rallying ideas until one of us suggested we add a hallucinogenic substance for the sole purpose of the quest, loosely named Ist Sap. For the quest, you were given as a gift a drink for your first mission. Unknowingly interested to the rare hallucinogen. Before you know it, you're in a village and tasked with killing the goblins. Now, I know exactly why we decided to go this direction, and why we wanted to create such an abnormal, unsettling mission. That was the way we all strangely wanted. Almost as an overwhelming temptation. Here's the thing. The end of this mission is where things start to fall apart during the testing sessions. To end the mission, you go back to the village after awakening from the hallucinogen, only to discover, to your horror, that the goblins you imagine yourself slaying were not goblins at all, but animals and people. What was meant to be only part of a row of dead bodies to the player turned into something nightmarish. We first heard about Discovery one evening, when an emergency meeting was called into the studio to review what the game developers found. We were greeted by a disturbed group of pale-skinned developers and animators, who briefed us quickly on the subject matter. Trembling, one of the animators, the one specifically testing the quest, tried to explain what he saw. And what's worse, what he heard. I will tell you what happened. I tried to understand that this was no rendering error, no glitch, or no flaw in the game. The game's coding, or any other factor we tried to establish. Everything checked out. What I witnessed there in the studio that day, I'll never forget. The animator sat at his station, claiming to have recorded the incident to recall his work in case of accidental deletion. He manoeuvred the video to the exact point in the recording. Once he hit play, the entire room fell silent. At first, there was nothing out of the ordinary. It was exactly how the mission progressed into when you visit the village a second time. Only this time, the quality seemed a bit grainy and saturated, like an old movie. As the character walked a bit forward towards the settlement, he saw a man standing between two homes facing the opposite direction. As the character moved closer, the man began to distort. After 20 seconds of footage, the game appears to lag at the point of a still frame with the man in his face facing forward. The animator assured us that this exactly is what happened to him, and his video did not stop. After about 7 seconds, the frame rate began to pick up once again. Only this time, the man began to turn around. His face looked as if it was pieced together from several different face models, but disproportioned as a mess of random, horrifying placements. At this point, there was no sound in the game, just a faint buzz and a crackle of grain. The character moved around, but the face followed, and only the face. The rest of the body, still distorted, and now bloody, as if it suggested he was a victim, remained grounded still. Suddenly, after a minute or so, the character's view shifts to hard left, and on the cue, the animator points out something enormously disturbing. Children, who were among the dead, were suspended in air, staring blankly in the face of the character, slowly being glitched backwards to remain perfectly still. The character moves closer and the children keep watching. The legs dangling lifelessly, the bodies one by one glitch through the landscape as if they were being swallowed. As each child disappeared through the rocky terrain, the noise began to enhance and transform. Distinctive moans could be heard periodically, then something happened. Screen flashed white, then black, then back to white. But this time the screen stats were there. The health bar, the compass. It was all as if the character transported some sort of vivid room. While it began to render random chunks of all raw data and designed glittering the void out from every direction. The animator couldn't explain why the game had taken him to this place of limbo. 5 or 6 minutes passed, but the recording, by this time many of the designers have left, too shaken from the experience. But I stayed. Suddenly a line of dialogue appeared at the bottom of the screen. It was unreadable from the likes of strange symbols and omitted letters from words completely jammed together. The noise is heard, a man's voice. He slurred gibberish. His tone is angry but shrouded. It gets louder after every passing second until it's almost a scream. Then, the game starts to lose control. The character starts to spawn all over the map, but everybody's lifeless. The character, at this point, cannot move. It is forced into a point of view, locked up in a place of horror, flashes all over. Howard, at this point, urges the animator to turn it off. The video remained on. The point came where the sound stopped. The game ceased to randomly spawn the character. It stopped exactly where it started. A grainy and distorted view of the village. Only this time the man was not there. A man with a face stitched and pieced together like a rag doll was not there. Abruptly, the man rose from the ground, inches away from your character, eyes as black as night and his mouth wide open. He started to speak. "You did this." Over and over, his speech turned into shouts, and shouts to screams, repeating without any movement of his mouth. "You did this, you did this." The video stopped. The room was quiet. The air was thick. The animators did all they could to fix this problem, but the children still float, lifeless, as if the game was broken beyond repair to what was experienced that evening. No one ever spoke of it again. And the evidence and its contents were destroyed. A month later, I left Bethesda. I've not shared this experience till now, and myself and the rest of the team so sweetly.